I bought one of these 360 cameras to mount to the back of my RZR, but there's one problem. You can't. Hey, I'm Dale. Since you can't buy the type of mount I want, I guess I'll just build it. By the end of this, you should be able to do the same. This is my first video on Gamble Off-Road, so if you're into UTVs, gear reviews, builds, and off-roading in general, or even just questionable opinions, I'm your man. So if you don't know what a 360 camera is, let me explain real quick. A 360 camera, like the Insta360, is an action camera that has two super wide angle lenses back to back that film simultaneously. The software inside the camera stitches the footage together into one seamless spherical video that allows you to capture a full 360 view, allowing you to choose the best angle or shot you captured on your ride while you're inside of the editing software, front to back and side to side. This is the kind of shot I'm after with my Insta360. But nobody makes an off-the-shelf mounting option for off-roading specifically. I need something lightweight and rugged enough to hold up when I'm in the dunes hitting whoops, bowls, and jumps. I'm not really sure what you're supposed to call this type of shot, but for the sake of this video, I'll just call it a chase camera. There are two mounting options if you want to get this shot. The mount that cars use is based around suction cups. That's not going to work in the bed of my RZR considering its textured plastics. Even if the bed was smooth as glass, I'm not sure I would trust suction cups anyways. The second option is a clamping style mount that motorcycles use. You might be able to position it in a decent location, but they rely on 2 points of contact, so that limits your adjustability quite a bit. I want this camera to be directly behind and above my UTV like it's chasing me like an FPV drone. On top of that, these mounts are crazy expensive. Insta360 offers a suction cup style mount for $400, while Ghost mount has another for $600. That's crazy. The Insta360 has cutting edge technology and it's only $500. I don't see why a selfie stick with a suction cup should cost that much. That brings me to my next point of contention. The off-the-shelf mounts are used with collapsible selfie sticks. It sounds pretty convenient, but there's a problem with selfie sticks. In order for them to collapse, they need to have some extra tolerance built into the design, so the tubes can slide inside one another. That extra slop will add up at the end of a selfie stick when you're eating whoops, creating a whip-like bounce. You don't want your footage to look like it came from a GoPro from the early 2000s. With all of that being said, that's what has led me to needing to build my own mounting system. After about 20 minutes of brainstorming, I bought a 40-inch carbon fiber tube with no plan or idea how I was going to mount it to the RZR or how I was going to mount the camera to it. I went with carbon fiber because it looks good. Plus, the strength to weight ratio stuff is awesome too. It was an easy choice. The first hurdle. How am I going to mount the camera to the tubing? I considered using a roll cage mount from my GoPro at the end of the carbon, but I want to keep weight at the end of a 40-inch tube to a minimum. Plus, the GoPro mount didn't go small enough to hold securely. I found some aluminum rod that fits snug inside of the carbon tube. I 3D printed a jig to make center finding, drilling, and tapping a breeze, but it went terrible. It did find center perfectly, but I didn't take into consideration the heat that gets generated when drilling can melt the plastic. 5 hours print time and 69 cents of plastic later, here we are. I really didn't want to buy a drill press. I recommend going old school and using a dowel square and a drill press. Using the right tool for the job is always the right choice. Tapping was a breeze. I used 3/8 instead of 1/4 inch for the girth. They're both common camera thread sizes. This aluminum plug is going to be epoxied into the carbon, so I used red Loctite on the bolt to mitigate any feature issues. Speaking of epoxy, I ran into another problem. The Gorilla Glue marketing team got me again. I bought their 2-part epoxy that says it could be used for fiberglass and metals. I gave it 24 hours to cure, but it just didn't. So I cleaned it up and headed back to Lowe's. I found a 2-part epoxy from JB Weld. It says it can be used for composites and metals. 10 minutes later, it was solid as a rock. I 3D printed an end cap to finish it off so it looks legit and not some shit I found. I also added a slick Q20 camera adapter to work with the Insta360. I have a cool stick with a camera on it now, but still no way to mount it to the RZR. This part kept me up for a few nights. Days of brainstorming and hours of Googling, I couldn't think of a decent way to mount it. I played with the idea of 3D printing something, but I don't trust the plastic being out in the sun with the heat and UV rays. Plus my build plate was too small to build anything beefy. I thought this project was dying mid-launch like one of Elon's starships. I'm in the process of redoing my yard currently. I've been hauling out decades worth of junk and weeds so my kids can hurt themselves in a different way. And that's where my dead project came back to life. In a pile of junk headed straight to the dump, there was a flagpole mount perched right on top like the crystal skull from Indiana Jones. I pulled up Amazon and found exactly what I needed. The title is Flagpole Holder Adjustable Flagpole Bracket for Outside Heavy Duty Aluminum Multi-Position Flagpole Mounting Bracket, Rust Free with Hardwares, 1-inch inner diameter, black, 1-pack. This thing was perfect. Heavy aluminum casting, it has teeth to lock it into position, and it has a set screw for the carbon rod. The bed of the RZR is prime real estate for this mount. 4 holes and an hour, we have motion. This thing is solid. I added a couple of small things for safety. I threw on some tethers so I don't lose my camera if something does happen, and some rubber washers to help with camera slippage and vibration. This thing isn't just for RZRs or UTVs. You can mount it to anything and anywhere you want. You can mount it to a Jeep, sand cars, the ceiling in your bedroom, whatever you want to do. I'm going to call it a universal 360 camera mount. I could be done with the project here, but I can do better. And I did. A lot better. I've come up with a second mounting option that doesn't need any holes being drilled. I know you guys don't want to drill holes in your rigs, neither did I, to be honest. The second mounting option clamps to the roll cage so you can run a cooler, a bed box, or a spare tire. It works with any cage size from 1.5 to 2 inch. The roll cage mount has unlimited adjustability. You can put this thing directly behind and above like the universal mount. You can go off the side of your car or on top, whatever you want to do. It has the same safety features, but it comes off and on in minutes. I'm pretty proud of this thing. Now we have to test it.
Hey, what up, say? This that shit to make them all go dummy. Now I got bread, they all want something from me. Showing like pros, man, I told them that it's money. And I own my own bars, just like it's always sunny. Ugh, thought she said something to me. We were never friends, told them I am not your buddy. Now they all call, I got some buzz like honey. Then they check the Spotify and they looking at me funny. I don't blame you, dog, that's how this shit goes. Same 2 paths, we just pick different roads. Glue on the safe, I just stuck to the code. Now they tell me that I'm driven, bro, I already drove. So diverse, got too many flows. Checks coming in, got too many O's. Remember in the past, had too many lows. Now when I look around, got too many bros. Don't like to spend it, I told them I'll save it. Now that I'm here, dog, I seen it, they hate it. I'm making hits like I'm running those bases, and they taking shots, bro, I know that they faded. This that shit to make them all go dummy. Now I got bread, they all want something from me. Showing like pros, man, I told them that it's money. And I own my own bars, just like it's always sunny. Ugh, thought she said something to me. We were never friends, told them I am not your buddy. Now they all call, I got some buzz like honey. Then they check the Spotify and they looking at me funny.
Modern problems require modern solutions. If I could have just bought one of these mounts for the 360 camera, I wouldn't have to build them. I hope this helps somebody out there. I can't be the only person looking for a solution to this very specific problem. Hit me in the comments if that's you, or if you have any suggestions to improve on my ideas. I'm not gonna ask you to subscribe. I have a list of parts in the description if you want to build one yourself. I will also have both the universal mount and the roll cage mount available on my website if you don't want to build it. Tag me in your videos. I want to see you guys running these things. I'm on all socials at Gamble Off-Road. I've been collecting camera equipment in anticipation of spinning this channel up, and that has led me to this very video. I plan on uploading regularly and posting on socials when this video goes live. Keep an eye out for me. Okay, thanks, bye.